We'll call this tutorial Fashion Tips for the Winter Photographer. In order to be prepared and really make a splash when you go out to photograph, you need to be well dressed and looking your best. So I'm going to give you a few tips here on how I dress before I go out to photograph. The better you dress, the more time you can spend out there enjoying your craft. So a well-prepared photographer and a well-dressed photographer is critical for making good images. The first thing we do is we start with a layer of long underwear. And this isn't just any long underwear, this needs to be the right long underwear. The key to remember here is that cotton is raised in the south and sheep are raised up north. And sheep, wool, will keep you warm. Cotton should not be any part of your ensemble. So cotton is bad, wool is your friend. I like Smart Wool. Smart Wool makes a great pair of long underwear. They also make some really good socks, and I have chosen a really heavy expedition weight sock made by Smart Wool. Next in the ensemble is a shirt and a pair of pants. Keeping in mind that I don't like cotton, I chose a nylon blended shirt, which has a really tight weave and traps air. Layering, which is what we're doing here, that's the effect we're going for with our ensemble, it serves a very practical purpose. It traps air next to your body, and air is an excellent insulator. If you're lucky enough, like me, to have a pair of Woolrich herringbone pants that were hand-me-downs from 38 years ago, you can choose those. Jeans are made out of cotton. They're the worst thing that you can wear. Once they get wet, they're waterlogged, and that moisture lays against you and makes you cold. Wool will wick it away. Wool can be soaking wet and still keep you warm and toasty. So I like wool pants. Some people like the nylon snow pants or something like that. I don't like the sound, the swishing sound that they make when I walk, so I much prefer the wool. Next in my accoutrements would be a nice heavy wool sweater and a fleece vest, or you could use a fleece jacket. Again, the layering effect allows you to build up or to take down as the event may require. To top it off, I use a parka shell, which is made out of a nylon, waterproof. This is actually a Gore-Tex nylon shell, so it keeps me nice and warm and cuts the wind really, really well. Topping off my dress ensemble here, I have chosen the proper footwear, something for my hands, some mittens and combination mitten gloves, a fleece baklava topped by a striking red knit cap. A few words about your footwear. No ensemble is complete without a nice pair of shoes. Just like a red stiletto heels, one needs the right footwear in order to venture out. Along the shores of Lake Superior, I highly recommend the Kahtoola Micro Spike ice grippers. They're much better than the other brands that are out there, far exceed the coiled Yak Trax, which tend to be very popular, but just don't make it when you are out on the scene and want to get from one place to another on that glaze ice. For your hands, I use a combination of mittens and gloves. I've chosen a polypropylene liner with a fleece mitten glove arrangement with a flap that will go over your fingers to keep your fingers warm. If you'd like, you can also fold the flap back so that you have the dexterity of your fingers to work your camera control. A couple last tips here for when you're shooting out here in the cold. One of the critical components to keep shooting is making sure you've got plenty of battery power. These things go through a lot of battery power, especially out here in this cold weather. It just saps the energy right out of the batteries. What I like to do is I take my spare battery and I put it right up in here inside my glove, right on the palm of my hand. That way I have it warm, it's accessible, I know where it's at. I take my spent batteries out of the camera and I put them in my pocket. So I keep them separate. The spent ones go in the pocket, the good ones are in the palm of my hand. They're out of the way, I can still work the camera. It doesn't affect the workings of my hand at all. And I also know how many spare batteries I'm carrying with me at any given time. So it's a real handy place to store them. Some other things that some people like to use are these hand warmers. You can just take one of these things, and if you can get it open here, you open it up, take it out, and it's activated charcoal, and you just shake it up, get it going. You can put it right in the flap of your mitten here. If your hands get cold, you just take that mitten and put it there, and you've got the warmer right there by your fingers. You can also put one of the warmers in the palm of your hand too, to help keep the battery warm. I find it works fine without it, but some people like a lot of warmers because they have problems with their extremities getting cold. But remember, I said one of the critical things about keeping your extremities cold is making sure that your core is warm. Hope this helped.